Your Highness, Sheikh Mousa bin Nasser, Your Excellency, Miss Amina Mohammed, Excellencies, distinguished guests, Olympic athletes and students, it's a great honor to welcome you to this high-level closing ceremony of the SDG Pavilion. My name is Niklaus and I'm delighted to be your moderator today. In our walkathon, we focused our attention and energy on the need to get to zero in 3 key areas. Zero out of school children, zero hunger, and zero dose immunization. The latter referring to 0 children that do not receive basic vaccines. These 0 commitments are urgently needed as we are in the midst of the decade of action with only 8 years left until 2030 and setbacks on many fronts. Let us now direct the same attention and energy towards walking the talk to zero and taking the necessary action. Her Highness' inspiring leadership on education and for 0 out of school children has shown us and many others the way. Let the closure of this SDG Pavilion be the beginning of our joint march towards the 0 goals. It's now my distinct honor to invite Her Highness Sheikh Mousa bin Nasser, founder and chairperson of Education Above All and UN advocate for the SDGs, to give her special remarks. Your Highness.
I'm happy to see the podium. I was planning to sit on that box. السلام عليكم. يسعدني وجودكم معنا اليوم وأشكركم على المشاركة في هذا المسير وعلى جهودكم من أجل تحقيق أهداف التنمية المستدامة. والآن سأنتقل للتحدث باللغة الإنجليزية حتى تصل رسالتي للجميع. 12 years ago, I asked, if not now, when? I asked that question in relation to a football tournament, the FIFA World Cup, which is taking place now. But it is a question clearly to be asked of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. If not now, when? Striving to meet those goals is not something we can postpone any more than France and Argentina can delay striking when the opportunity arises tomorrow. So Argentina and France have to score the goals. And we, governments, NGOs, corporate entities, civil societies, every one of us must contribute to scoring the goals our planet desperately needs. Across the last 4 weeks, while the World Cup has played out here in Qatar, we have hosted heads of state, ministers, and other global leaders. Beyond football, these world leaders have participated in SDG advocacy, several of them making commitments here outside the corridors of UN in our pavilion. We have used the platform created by a world event to highlight matters crucial to all of us. And this can be done wherever the limelight is falling, wherever people gather in a fan or arts festival, a stadium or conference hall. Let there be a place such as this pavilion where a light is shone on the goals that unite us. This pavilion is in itself commitment to sustainability. It was designed by the great architect Zaha Hadid to be dismantled and reused. This tent will be taken apart and sent to a war-torn country to be used as a classroom for displaced children. Other tents that had been used in the World Cup will be sent to Yemen and Syria. Some are already in use in Turkey and Pakistan as classrooms and medical centers, bringing hope to refugees and others forced to flee their homes. Each tent is relatively a small thing, but from little things, big things grow, and every one of the UN goals is interconnected. Health, education, eradicating poverty. They're all part of ensuring a sustainable planet. Unlike the teams in the World Cup, the SDGs do not compete, and every one of them must be achieved. If every action we take, from refilling a water bottle to building a school, is made with thought and purpose, then our planet has a future. So let us strive for that future. Like Argentina and France, let's aim for the goals that matter. الحضور الكرام، أشكر كل من ساهم في بناء هذا الجناح، المهندسة الراحلة زها حديد وفريق العمل في مؤسسة التعليم فوق الجميع، وكل من بذل جهدا لتحويله إلى وجهة ممتعة للزوار. لقد شكلت استضافتنا لبطولة كأس العالم فيفا 2022 فرصة مميزة للترحيب بالعالم في قطر في جناح أهداف التنمية المستدامة. شكرا لكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Your Highness, thank you so much. We all agree, referring to the first sentence of your statement, that the time is now. It has to be now. Thank you for your unwavering determination, advocacy, and global leadership in ensuring that we leave no one behind. Our next speaker, Her Excellency Mrs. Amina Mohammed, was not only responsible for the UN's post-2015 development planning and for steering the efforts on climate action and protecting the natural environment as Nigeria's Minister of Environment, but she was designing schools and clinics and advocating for better access to education and other social services at the beginning of her inspiring career. Mrs. Mohammed therefore knows firsthand, like no other, how important our zero goals and global action towards our zero goals are. It's my great pleasure to invite Her Excellency Mrs. Amina Mohammed, UN Deputy Secretary General and Chair of the UN's Sustainable Development Group, to this very remarks.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think Your Excellency, Your Highness, Sheikh Moza bint Nasser, after your speech, I'm going to just close mine because you've said everything that we would have, if not now, when. But let me congratulate you for your leadership. It started a long time before we gavelled the goals. You were the first to talk about the scale at which things had to happen, but also the ownership that countries had to take in order to get the help they needed to get to the goals that we have today. So thank you so much. And then thank you for your leadership on education above all. In 2000, we said education for all. And you've put it way above that, which is what the SDGs tried to show us. So thank you for an example that you also went to countries and you talked about scale. I think this is an important moment for people to invest in what is foundational, and that is education. So scoring for the goals, the first goal needs to be on education, because it does pull in all the other goals, and it assures that we get to 2030 with the ambition for future generations. So thank you again. I also want to thank the government of Qatar, because what they have shown us, and I've only seen it in the last day or so, is that we can bring the world together in a time when we are so divided, when the crises have hit one after the other, from COVID to climate, and worse still, a war that we never thought that we would see in Europe, the war in Ukraine. All of this has had an impact on everyone around the world, be it COVID and the lack of vaccines, or as it were, climate action, and the lack of resources to address climate action. And then, of course, the war in Ukraine that has multiplier effects from its epicenter in Ukraine, around the world, on food, on energy security, and now on finance. And here what we've seen is the world can come together. It can bring people of different walks of life. It can bring them to appreciate a different way of life that they have experienced after the match, which I know that you have shown everyone. I witnessed yesterday firsthand music from different parts of the world. I witnessed a fashion show that I'm not often familiar with. And so it was all an experience of the diversity of this world. And that is important, to respect it and to make sure that we honor it by investing in it and seeing that the goals which represent ambition for everyone actually happen. I want to give a special shout out to my two sisters here, First Ladies from Namibia and from Rwanda. The work that you're doing to score the goals in your country, small populations, but the difference that they will make if we take some of these ideas around the globe is to get the ambition of the goals. So thank you so much. And I believe my sister, I have two sisters. I can't quite see the other one, but I do see from Croatia. and for Morocco. Tomorrow's going to be a special day. No, tonight. Tonight will be a special night. And, we say, may the best team win. But the beauty of sport is that there will always be a loser, but there is dignity in the game itself and unity in acknowledging that the best side won and you all come together to try another day. So I see both as winners and no losers in the sport tonight. So thank you very much. It's a difficult trek. Next year we will witness taking stock for the SDGs. And as we say, if not now, when? Certainly in September next year, we will be asking how far have we gone in these last 7 years to attain the goals? What are the gaps that remain? And how can we bring the world together? That is difficult. It's not easy today to bring the world together with the resources, but also with science and technology, with the people who are at the center of this. The one thing that I think that this tournament has shown us is that the economy can grow with the creatives. Whether it's fashion or it's music or it's sport, there's a GDP in that. And so we should honor each job with dignity, each investment in the economy with a return that tomorrow will likely be the creatives and technology, but it will certainly be the young people that will be taking us forward. So when we get to September next year, I think everyone owes it not only to take stock in their own countries of what they have done as individuals, but also in the collective towards the goals, to say what they will do on that journey to 2030. Many have said, with everything that we face today, there's so many crises, are you sure that the goals that are off track today can ever be attained? Should we not just do them again? But look, the real issues here are we must continue to give hope to a world where many are hopeless, that there is the possibility of attaining the goals. And when we get to 2030, we'll decide if we achieve them or not. But let's not fail for want of trying. Let's give it our best foot forward, and that will be for the goals today, tonight that we play, and to come closer together in the partnerships that we need. Goal 17 is a big partnership goal, but come together closer so that as a collective we can achieve the goals. So if not now, when? But it's now for 2030. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for sharing your inspiring and valuable thoughts and for agreeing with us that the time for joint action is now. We cannot lose hope. You're of course right. And the SDG agenda being the North Star that guides our action towards a better future for all, as you so eloquently said in another recent speech. Let us now move to our next segment of the event, where our next speaker will focus on the global food security challenge that affects so many of the SDGs. Our next speaker, Dr. Ismahan Al-Wafri, is a globally renowned expert in agricultural research and development and a strong advocate for the use of neglected and underutilized crops, the use of non-fresh water in agriculture, and the empowerment of women in science, having won the prestigious Excellence in Science Award from the Global Thinkers Forum and many others herself. I'm very pleased to now invite Dr. Al-Wafri, Chief Scientist of the Food and Agriculture Organization and National House Leadership, to give her remarks.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's really a pleasure to be here, and it's a bit of a stress to speak after Sheikh Hamouza and after Amina Mohammed. So I'm really delighted to be here in Qatar, not only because we are talking about scoring for the goal for SDGs, but because I'm coming in the World Cup and I'm seeing this wonderful organization. And as a Moroccan, I'm very, very happy that tonight Morocco gonna play for the third place with Croatia. So we wish them good luck. So I come from FAO, and FAO, as you know, it's a specialized organization of the United Nations. We work with 194 countries, and we are custodians of the SDG 2, Zero Hunger. So as you talked about it, it has to be now. We have to act now. Because in the last few years, the numbers are going very, very bad. So right now, we have 828 million people that are going to bed hungry. And if we look at the last 2 years, we got 150 million more. So the curve is not going on the right direction. And that's where we need really to change. And as a chief scientist of FAO, that's where I really want to promote for much more education, science, technology, and innovation. New technologies that are affordable and are at the hand of the farmers. So right now, 80% of the food is produced by small-scale producers. Those small-scale producers have no technology whatsoever. So we need really to bring both the top technologies and science, but make it at the service of those that are producing our food today. And that's where, when I was invited to join you, I'm really very inspired by the fact that we are looking at the goals and we are taking football as an example. So what we saw with the example in the football is that the person that shoots doesn't shoot alone. He can't make a goal if he plays alone. He has to play with the team, he has to play with the coach, and he has to play with the fans also. So that's exactly what we need to do for the SDGs, particularly the zero hunger, but also the zero out of school, the zero vaccination. We need really to get the stakeholders, the actors all over the world, to hold hand and walk together and stop it. Because it is shame on us, in all honesty, that in 2022 we still have people going to bed hungry and having kids that are malnourished. So when you have a kid that is malnourished, that kid cannot be educated. That person can never grow to their potential. So my call for you here is really to use what you did in Qatar for the football and try to do the same thing on the SDGs with the focus on these three. And FAO will be standing by along the United Nations with my boss here. And really, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Al-Wafi, for these thought-provoking remarks, veritable food for thought, and the promising approaches you have highlighted to contribute towards zero hunger, and the nice link you made to football and sports. We will come back to this a bit later. Your Highness, Excellencies, distinguished guests, working in international cooperation for many years, I had the privilege to engage with EAA on many occasions. And I'm truly convinced that EAA's approach has an impact on our zero goals. Sustainable development begins with education. Education is key to achieving outcomes for several SDGs, including those on health and food security. EAA, through its Educated Child program, contributes to zero hunger by providing school meals to ensure children are not hungry and better prepared to learn, by establishing school gardens to support school feeding and student nutrition, and by supporting income-generating activities of households to tackle poverty and hunger. EAA introduced us to the Zero Out of School Children approach and works with selected countries such as Djibouti, Zanzibar, Tanzania, the Gambia, Sierra Leone and Rwanda to close the gap and ensure that the remaining out-of-school children get access to quality primary education. And through its partnership with Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, EAA contributes to zero-dose immunization by embedding immunization efforts in existing education projects in Ethiopia, Kenya, and Nigeria. When children are healthy, they are more likely to go to school and learn. Please have a look now at the short video summarizing the inspiring journey of the SDG moments throughout the World Cup.
And thank you for your question, Martin. By a single screwdriver.
The SDGs are about inclusion. They are about leaving no one behind, about partnerships for the goals, because no one can do it alone. The SDGs require teamwork, team spirit, compassion, camaraderie, all inherent values of team sports too. And both require fair play. To illustrate the latter, please have a quick look at this short video.
Can we have 2 gold? It's possible. It depends if you decide, if you go...
They've agreed to share the gold medal, and that is what it means to Tamberi, a man whose career was almost over with injury. So too, Mutas Esabashim. He's charismatic, he's a huge personality, and they will both taste gold in Tokyo. This is an absolutely insane night in the stadium.
This is sportsmanship at its best. Our next speaker, the Honorable Sunil Sabrawal, has a distinguished career as a financial services executive and investor, also having served among many other positions as Senate-confirmed US board member to the IMF. Currently, Mr. Sabrawal is the Secretary General of the International Fair Play Committee that fosters sportsmanship in international competition. It's now my distinct pleasure to invite the Honorable Sunil Sabrawal to lead you through the next segment.
Thank you. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I'm thrilled to be here in my capacity as the Secretary General of the International Fair Play Committee, an organization created 60 years ago by UNESCO and the IOC. It is a unique organization because it sits in both the Olympic family and within the UN system. For 60 years, we've been recognizing very special acts on an annual basis of fair play sportsmanship. In 2008, in collaboration with the IOC, we began a special program that was recognizing fair play acts at the Olympic Games and also at some other special events such as the World Athletics Championships, and we've done that here in Doha a couple of years ago. People ask us why we promote acts of fair play and highlight things like that you have just seen. Because it is so important for us in this world to have role models, we feel that bringing events like this act as role model activation events because they're so spontaneous that really they travel the world at an instant globally, and it's really, really impactful. So that's the first reason we try and highlight these events. Secondly, of course, in this world of media and new media, social media, these events do go out really fast, so our impact is really, really great. Finally, events like this are timeless, like a good Disney movie. And when we look back, our children, grandchildren, 10, 20, 50 years ago, will look back at some of the Olympic Games or great championships, World Cups, track and field championships. It'll be just a few events like this that we will recognize and recall from these events. And we think that is really, really important for the youth to save these for the next generations. I don't know if you caught the very beginning of this very special moment with Mutaz and Tamberi. The scene, of course, is the Olympic Games in Tokyo 2020, which took place in 2021. High jump final. They are tied, and of course. The judge goes up to them as to what next, jump off or not, and it is actually Mutaz, very importantly, that very first sentence in the video that takes the initiative and makes this incredible gesture to share this one-of-a-lifetime experience of winning an Olympic gold medal. So I'd like Mutaz to join me here on the podium. And while he's coming, he will not remember this, but in 2012, he and I at the Olympics, I was not involved in athletics at the time, was in fencing. That's my sport. And we happened to be in the same elevator. You won't remember this, and your coach and myself.
Yes.
And I said in all a Qatari outfit, and I said, and I wasn't sure. I said, "What's your event?" And he said, "High jump." And I said, "You're going to get a medal." And he said yes. The coach said yes, and eventually he did.
The coach. My coach.
Your coach said. Your coach said yes. He did. You just stood very shy. You were 21 years old, and in fact he did win a medal at those games, and of course in a number of other games. So Mutaz, for creating one of those lifetime moments for future generations, I'd like you to present the special Fair Play Trophy by the International Fair Play Committee.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Can I say something or?
Can you present?
Okay, please. So maybe we go this way here.
Come here. First, I'll give you the. Hardware. And secondly, a diploma by the International.
Thank you very much.
Yes, please.
Let me just maybe prepare that then. Or maybe I hold it. Yes. I think that clip never gets old. I've been playing it around 100 times already. Your Highness, Your Excellencies, dear distinguished guests, I'm really happy. I'm honored to be here and be part of my country's effort to create the change. And as an Olympian, as a sports person, I really truly believe that sport and education is a parallel lines to make the spotlight on all the problems and the issues that we face, our humanity facing today. And again, thank you, Your Highness. Thank you for education above all. Thank you for everyone that take part of this great cause and spotlight, and not only spotlight, and create a change that we think is necessary for any humans today to have a natural life, to have a peaceful life and sleep well. And some of the problems that, for example, education, lack of health care, and this is the thing that we don't think about as human, that we take it for granted. But if you think about it, as someone mentioned before, if you have kids, this is the small thing that we really need to care about and create the change. So thank you again, and thank you for awarding me with this award. Thank you.
For a photo op, could I have Mr. Muhammad Al Fadala, President of the Qatari Athletics, to join us?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Barshim. You are a true role model. Heartfelt congratulations again. Thank you, Mr. Barshim, Mr. Sabrawal. With this, I would like to bring this high-level event to close. Thank you again, Your Highness, Your Excellency, Mrs. Mohammed, Dr. Al-Wafi, for your remarks, and our distinguished guests for your esteemed attention. I would like now to invite you outside to participate in photo opportunities, inspirational speeches, and sports activities with our students, youth, and volunteers. Thank you so much.